Hi guys, it's Aliesha, or you can call me Ali, and we're back for another video. This one's an exciting one, and this is feminine habits that you can do today to make you a more attractive woman. These are things that you can do to be seen as attractive, but also be seen as attractive to yourself, seen as a more put together, polished, feminine woman. We'll say when I do these habits, I do feel a lot more feminine and just a lot more in tune with my softness. Let's talk about a feminine habit that you can do at nighttime, okay? This is going to require you to add this to your night routine. It's also going to make you feel very feminine in the morning. And one physical habit that I think you should start doing is wearing silky pajamas to sleep, to bed, or even if you don't want to wear silky pajamas, just wearing a matching pajama set to bed. I have literally been revamping up my nightwear. Instead of wearing like t-shirts to bed, instead of wearing like just shorts and t-shirts and mismatched things that I used to wear, and I just been wearing matching pajama sets, matching silk pajama sets. So along with adding in the matching pajama sets and the matching silk pajama sets, also have a nighttime fragrance. I always mention this fragrance from Ulta that I got. It's called Late Day Cocoa. I use that one as my nighttime fragrance because it's not super expensive. I think I got it for like $25, and compared to how much fragrances usually are, that's actually pretty inexpensive. It's a little small bottle, and I just use it as my nighttime fragrance. I also have other fragrances too around the same price. Very nice, and it makes me feel like so luxurious, beautiful, amazing. It just makes me feel so good. It really does make me feel feminine. It's that small thing that makes me feel very feminine and very beautiful. The second thing that I want to talk about is prioritizing your self-care, okay? And when I say prioritizing, I mean to put yourself first, especially the days when you're stressed, when you're upset, when you know you need to prioritize your self-care. I want you to start doing that, not even only on the days where you're stressed and upset, but do you have a set routine where you're just actually doing your everything shower routine? Do you have a set morning routine? And do you have a set night routine, okay? And are you putting yourself first, okay? When I do my morning and night routine, I always have my phone on do not disturb, because I don't like people disturbing like that morning and night routine. And honestly, it may come off as selfish, but it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It doesn't mean that I'm just like disregarding people, or I'm not reaching out to them, or you know, I consider myself a very considerate person, and I'm always reaching out to my friends and texting them and everything. And however, though, when it comes to my night routine and my morning routine, I know that that's the first thing that I need to be doing in the morning. I know that I need to take care of myself first, and then I also know that I also need to end my night with myself, okay? So when I say prioritizing, okay, when you are doing your morning routine, make sure you put your phone on do not disturb, or don't reach for your phone the first thing in the morning. You get up, you take a shower, maybe you go to the gym, maybe you meditate, maybe you, whatever you like to do in your mornings, do that. Make sure you are putting yourself first. You should be the first person to see yourself. You should be the first person to give yourself self-love, right? And if you wake up in the morning and you reach for that phone, you are telling yourself that you're not a priority. You're treating social media as a priority, and you're actually treating everybody else like a priority, because when you're on social media, you are taking in everybody else's opinions, you're taking in everybody else's feelings. Like, I know you can feel like the vibe when you're on social media, whether it's good or bad. Like, you can always feel the energy. And if something bad pops up on your screen first thing in the morning when you wake up, who are you really prioritizing, okay? And the same thing as nighttime. Like, why are we, I challenge you, like 30 minutes before you go to bed, don't be on social media, you know? Maybe you can just be on YouTube or something and watch a video or whatever, but something like Instagram, or maybe something like Facebook, or even TikTok can it's easy to scroll into something that you didn't want to see before bedtime, especially on TikTok. Sometimes I'll scroll and then the algorithm will show me something like really bad, and I'll be upset the whole night and I won't be able to go to sleep. But if I'm on YouTube, it's a little different, because you can choose whether you like click on something, and it's a lot different because you could get to choose, you know. So if you want to be on a social media app, I recommend just being on YouTube at night, but you don't want to see something bad and then go to sleep and then feel bad about yourself when you go to sleep, right? And then the same thing with having an everything shower routine, you know. You want to make sure that you are treating your shower routine like it's just your sanctuary, you know. When I get in the shower, I love taking a shower morning and night, especially my morning showers. Oh my goodness, you know, I'm using my shower oil, I'm using 2 of my favorite cleansers for my body, I'm using my face wash, you know, I'm exfoliating. My shower is just my sanctuary. I'm listening to self-affirmations in the showers, an audiobook. I'm romanticizing my shower routine. I'm not just doing my self-care routine, but I'm romanticizing my shower routine, and I'm also like mentally and physically pouring into myself, you know. Like, I'm taking care of my body physically by exfoliating and everything, but I'm also mentally stimulating myself with affirmations or an audiobook, listening to it in the shower. You know, you can get like a little shower thing for your phone. You could even watch a movie while you're doing your hair in the shower. I have one that I use for my phone that I put on there, and it honestly is a game changer because it just feels like I'm pouring into myself. Especially for the people that don't have time, your shower and your bathroom can be the space that you need to get yourself together, okay? For the people that may have like kids or live with family and you feel like you can't get away, go in the shower, girl. Go in the shower, prioritize your self-care. And let me tell you, I know this point is really long, but I just keep talking about it, like, because it's the one thing that has made me feel attractive. It's the one thing that has made me feel more feminine. And I'm not saying taking care of yourself and self-care is a feminine attribute necessarily, but it definitely gives you that feminine feeling because you feel like you're just being, you know, you feel like you're taking care of yourself, and after you're done, you're just like, wow. And then somebody that puts themselves first, somebody that prioritizes their self-care, somebody that's seen as that, people respect them more, people value their time more. So I want to challenge you to do that, and I promise you, you'll come off more feminine and more attractive. The next one I have is to expand your vocabulary. I think this is the perfect way to come off a lot more attractive, a lot more feminine. A great way to expand your vocabulary is to download a word of the day app. I think they have one called Vocabulary. There's one that I had called Word of the Day, and it would show me like words of the day that I could expand my vocabulary with. It'll even show you how to like use it in a sentence. It'll show you like the definitions of the words, and it is a great way to expand your vocabulary. Another way to do that is to read audiobooks. Just hearing how people use words in like a sentence, instead of just reading it but also just hearing it. You hear it, you're able to listen to how people use it. So those are 2 ways that you can expand your vocabulary, and it honestly is a game changer for you if you want to come off a lot more attractive. This point kind of goes along with this tip, is to become a woman that can talk about anything, or to become a woman that has a passion for talking about something, okay? I'm not saying that you need to know everything, because sometimes there's conversations that I just don't get into and I don't know anything about, like, okay? However, I think it is nice to have something that you're passionate about, something that you can talk about. It comes off very attractive when somebody has something that they kind of like are purposeful for, or they're like really passionate about, if it's like a hobby or something that they just love and they can talk about it, and something that like they just have knowledge about. You just come off so much more attractive. I recently went to this bar. It wasn't even recently, it was like 2 months ago I went to this bar, and I remember where we got to like a conversation about just books and just like things that we have read. And I had a couple books that I have read, self-help books that I had read that I contribute to with the conversation. But just imagine if I hadn't read anything, I would have nothing to talk about, and I would feel kind of weird just being in that setting. And even if I did feel weird being in that setting, it is a good, when you go to places like that and you find yourself like, you find that you can't talk about certain things, that's actually a good sign, because that means that like, oh, okay, maybe I just need to work on myself in this area. But just having something that you can talk about with people, it is a game changer. And then also it really helps if you are more shy, if you are more reserved and you want to become like somebody who gets out of your shell. It definitely helped me to get out of my shell a lot more, because when I had stuff to talk about, I felt more confident in it. I felt like I could speak more about it. So just being able to find something that you're passionate about, even if it's one thing and it doesn't seem like much to you, but just having that one thing to talk about will make you come off very, very attractive. attractive. Along with having passions, I would recommend another tip is to have a hobby, okay? Have something that you do on a daily or weekly or monthly basis that you can talk about, okay? When people ask me what I like to do, I always tell them I'm an adventurous girly, you know? I don't necessarily come across adventurous because I feel like people don't really know that about me, and sometimes I'm a little girly and a little more like, you know, but I consider myself adventurous. You know, I love going horseback riding, I love going rock climbing. I just like doing those things. I haven't been in a minute and I would like to go back, but just those things in general, when I mention them to people, they're like, oh, okay, or like, you know. Or I just love Pilates, something as simple as Pilates, or even just going to the gym. I love going to the gym, like those kind of things. I love to journal, something, okay? Journaling is not even, I don't even think it's considered a hobby, but it can be, you know. Maybe you are the best journaler ever, I don't know, girl, but find a hobby. It's so important to have a hobby, because I'm telling you, people will ask you, what do you like to do for fun? Like, you know how many times I've gotten that question, what do you like to do for fun? You know, whether it's on a date or whether it's like the friend. So much value in just having something that you love to do, having a hobby. And the next point I do have that kind of is going along with that also, but to become multifaceted, okay? I love this tip, okay, because I think it is so nice to have multiple things that you're into, multiple things that you can talk about, multiple talents that you have. Maybe you don't have multiple talents, but maybe there are like multiple things that you're working on. So maybe you like, I don't know, maybe you like to play piano. I have a little piano right here. Maybe you can play piano or whatever. Maybe you can sing, or maybe you can dance, or maybe you just like cooking, okay? Just become a woman that knows and does different things, okay? It doesn't have to be like a crazy amount of things, but if you have two things that you can do, two things that you like to do, it's kind of really attractive to be like, oh, I do this, or oh, I do that. The next tip I have is to actively practice your creativity. This is kind of like the hobby thing, but more creative tasks, more creative things that you can get into. So maybe you like to write stories, you know, practice that, or painting, cooking. Even if you're not good at these things, I cannot tell you how many times I felt more attractive, more feminine when I was just more creative and I was just being, you know, I was just being, and I was just doing these things for fun, for creativity, for, you know, everything. Like me filming these videos is creative for me, you know. I love tapping into my creativity, and honestly, tapping into my creativity helps me to create abundance in my life. It helps me to feel good in my life. It helps me to feel more feminine and attractive. It just helps me feel really good to be more creative, and it just creates a less stressful life. The next thing I have to become more feminine and attractive is to learn to do certain things for yourself. Okay, hear me out, because it sounds a little masculine, you know. It sounds like a little like, oh, I thought masculine energy was to do, right, and feminine was to be. But hear me out, okay? When I say do things for yourself, I don't mean like, I mean the girly things, okay? I mean learning how to do the girly things for yourself. And what I mean by that is learning how to do your own hair, learning how to do your own makeup, learning how to do your own pedicure, your manicures, your, I don't know, maybe you just wear press-on nails, learning how to do that, learning how to dress, learning how to do your self-care, things like that, okay? Do not get me wrong, I love getting my hair done. I absolutely hate doing my own toes. You know, I love getting my own toes done, but best believe that if I cannot afford to get my toes done, or if I don't have time to go to the nail shop, I know how to do my own pedicure, okay? I know how to do that. I have me a little foot bath that I use, and I have a little foot scrubber, and just like a couple of pedicure things that I like to do, that I know that if the time comes that I need to do it myself, I know how to do it, okay? I know how to do my own hair, and I just think that is so feminine, so attractive to be like, look, I can do this myself. Like if I don't have the money, or even if I just don't have the time, or somebody cancels on me, I can do it myself. Like, how feminine and attractive is that? It's nice to know, like, you know how to do that stuff. And the next tip I have is to be more empathetic and more understanding. understanding, okay? Nothing is more attractive than somebody who's a good listener, somebody who's understanding to your problems, somebody who just is there for you, okay? And I think it is so important that if somebody's telling you something, to be able to listen to them, to be able to not cut them off when they're speaking, and to be very understanding to them. Believe me, I have definitely been the person to cut people off when they were speaking before, and like I've had to learn a lot more emotional intelligence and just to be more understanding and allow people to vent to me and for me to listen. And I think that it does come off really attractive because it makes people feel like heard, it makes people feel more validated and more valued, and odds are they're gonna feel like a closer connection to you if you do that. The next tip I have is to be more graceful. And what I say with being more graceful, there is like various ways that you can kind of come off graceful in the way you speak. Maybe you talk a little slower. In the way you talk, maybe you talk with your hand, the way that your posture is, or the way you sit down, or the way you walk, the confidence that you have, just the way you eat, like different things like that can make you more graceful. I'm not saying that you have to like change up your whole demeanor, and you know, because sometimes I'm kind of loud when I laugh, and like, you know, I still am myself, okay? But I do think that there are ways to come off more graceful, different ways you can practice to be more graceful. I kind of like when I can turn on like my femininity, when I can like speak with my hands, but then I can also be like a little loud sometimes, and like time and place, right? So I just think being more graceful has made me tap into like my feminine and my just being a little bit more attractive. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I hope you found it insightful and helpful. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.